Okay, in this video, I'm going to walk you through all of the things that you can do with your image library. And there are three ways to access it. The first way is just to go to your top right menu and drop down and go to Images. The other way is just to go to your dashboard. If you go to your dashboard, you can see there's also an image library icon, and it even tells you how many images you've got sitting in there. The third way is just from the home page of just creating a card. Just go to any of our card templates or create your own. And I'll just go to Just for Fun and pick this card right here. And we'll go with a large flat. Now I'm in the studio. Let's just kind of show you what you can do. So I'll go to the back side, which is going to be blank. I will just drag a photo from my desktop. You can see this photo right here. I'm going to drag it right in. And it's going to process it into my library, and it's also going to place it into the card, okay? Now, just like normal, you can crop it, right? You can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. You can resize it by grabbing a corner and pushing it in or out like that. And then, of course, you can rotate it by using that rotation tool right up there, okay? So that's kind of how that works. You may already have some images sitting in your image library. The way you get to those is by clicking on My Images right over here in the left-hand column. And you click on that, and you can kind of see what happens. There was a preview thumbnail right there, and when I clicked on My Images, it goes away, and now at the bottom bar starts to display all those images. And if you don't want those to be there, you want to kind of go back to the thumbnail, you just click on it one more time, and you're good to go, okay? So let's click on that and see some of the things that you can do, which are really awesome. I could just select a photo like this and select this photo, and I could say add to project, and then they'll already just kind of automatically go to the card. Now that's one way to do it. I could take those out just like that. I'll drop that out, and I could just drag them in one at a time and place them kind of in the area that I'm thinking. That's another way to do it. So just kind of give you some ideas of how you can manipulate those photos into your project just by dragging and dropping, or when you select them, it puts a check mark on them. And then that lets you know you're ready to do something, whether you want to add them to the project or you could seriously just delete it. You could hit delete. If I hit delete, it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to delete that photo? I'll say never mind. But that's what you could do there. You could also, I'll unselect that. You can also hit that heart button. That just means it's going to go into my favorites. And I'll show you where those are at in just a minute. So I can hit heart on that one, or check mark, and then hit the heart on that. Now both of these photos would be sitting in my favorite photos, which is kind of nice to have. All right, now I'll uncheck those, and we can get to that in just a moment. So here's some tools that you can use down here to get to your project. Oh, also, let's just say I want to add a photo the old school way, if you will. I could hit upload images and go to my desktop, go to my photos, right? And I could select one like that. And I'll hit open, right? And that photo will now be sitting in my account, and I could just drag it in, and there you go. So just kind of show you some things you can do down here at the bottom. Now, for some people, this might be too small a view, and for me, it is too sometimes. So here's what you do. Follow my mouse and go right over here to the bottom right corner, okay? You can kind of just see that right here, right in this bottom right corner. You can see that icon. If I click on that, now I have some real functionality. And what I mean by that is these photos, I can make them larger just by going up here to this little slider tool, just kind of sliding them like that. You can kind of see how it makes all those photos much bigger. And if they're not big enough at this point, you still can make them larger by going to the bottom left corner and clicking on this magnifying glass with a plus sign. Click on that, and now that photo just got really big. So lots of ways for you to look at your photos and know which ones you want to use and so forth. It's really handy, okay? So remember how I got there. I'll click on it again. It's down here in the bottom right corner. Click on that, and here you go. Everything is nice and big and easy to work with. Let's talk about the images that I have right now, and let's just say I want to add a few more, okay? So I'm in all images right here. If it says uncategorized, I'll explain to you what that means. Let's just say that I wanted to create a couple of categories. We'll call one family, and I'll put a check mark, and I'll do another one friends. And now I've got another check mark. Okay, so we go like this. This is kind of how you kind of quickly put things in the albums that you want, so that down the road when you've got lots and lots of photos, it's so easy to find them. Okay, so this is a family shot. This is a family shot. This is a family shot. Those are 3 family shots. I go over to my family folder, which is right here. It says 0, and I'm going to hit that plus sign. Plus. Okay, they're still in my all images folder, right? But now they're not uncategorized, so that number went down. So if I wanted to go to my family folder, here they are, ready for me to use. So this is going to be really handy because pretty soon you're going to have lots and lots of albums here for you to have some fun with. Let me go back to my images again and put a check mark right here and right here. And then I'm going to add them to friends. Now they're in there. See the 2? And my uncategorized is getting smaller and smaller. You want to make sure as often as you can to keep that uncategorized at 0. That just means that all your photos are nicely organized and you know where they're at. So that's how that works. Okay, and maybe I'll do one more category and we'll just call this for fun. And I'll put this in there and that in there, and then I'll hit that plus sign. All right, all my awesome photos are organized and they look great. I'm going to all images, and let's just go to do this. What if I wanted to add a bunch of photos at once? So let's just kind of grab a whole bunch. I want you to understand that there's a lot of things you can do here. I'll just grab like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, roughly. Just drag them over, just like that, whole bunch. And now the studio is going to process all those one at a time and get them ready for you. And there they are. Awesome, huh? They're all nicely stored in your image library. But now you can see I've got 6 more to categorize. And if I wanted to, I can organize them and do those things. So just wanted you to see how easy it is to move things around, put them in your folders. Let's just do this. Let's just say that I don't want this for fun folder anymore. I hit delete. Now here's 2 big questions. You just want to delete the album and keep the photos because they'll all just stay nice and safe in the all images area. Or I want to delete the photos and the album. In this case, I'll just say, just delete the album. I want to keep those photos. Delete. Okay, now those photos are still here, but the album is gone. See how that works? And maybe down the road you go, I really don't want this photo. I'll put a check mark on it. I could go ahead and just hit that trash can right there. Hit delete. I'll say never mind in this case, because maybe you got lots of photos and you kind of go, I want to get rid of that one. I want to get rid of this one. I want to get rid of that one. Then you can just go up here to the trash can and then hit delete. And it says, you want to delete all these photos? And you say yes. See how easy that is? I'll say never mind though, of course. So that's how easy it is to use your image library. This thing is meant for you to just kind of quickly get through, organize them, put them where you want. You're going to have, if I were you, I have lots of albums so that they're nicely organized. And yes, you can put a photo in more than one album. So I could take this photo and check mark it, and I'll put it in my family, and I'll check mark it again, and I'll also put it in my friends. So you could have the same photo in multiple albums if that helps you out a little bit. Okay, so we've talked about those things. Pretty easy to do, right? And I talked about deleting an image and creating a category. You saw how easy it was to create a category. And if you ever go, this is the wrong name, just click on that pencil and then rename it. And when you're done, hit check mark. And then that will rename that file, that album for you. So that's pretty easy to do too. Okay, now you know how to utilize the image library on this bigger scale environment, if you will. I'm going to go back to the normal size and just kind of remind you of a few things down over here. So those albums can be accessed right here, this little bottom left corner. I can scroll down and go to the family album, and then they'll display right here, and you'll see how that works. If I had some favorites, you know, maybe I'll make this a favorite, and I'll make that one a favorite. You can see now that I've got 2 favorites because I clicked on the heart. So all that's accessed right here, you know. And then let me just go to all images and kind of just remind you this really cool feature. If I were to click this one, and that one, and that one, I've got 4. Doesn't matter how many. I could say add to project. And do you see how quickly that is? Nicely formatted. They stay within the safe zone. And if I want to, I can move them over and have them bleed off the edge. This is a bleed edge right here. I could do all that. Really, really easy to use, okay? And of course, remember we've got the layering tool. So I could take this photo and this photo and kind of layer them like that. And if I wanted to, I could send this one behind this one. And how do I do that? Just really quickly, I'll just say send behind, and now it's behind. Click on this area right here. I hope you can see that. This little tool right up in here. It's a really nifty little tool. Okay, that's how you use the image library. Have lots of fun doing this. Remember, there's no limit on the number of photos that you add to a card or a poster or a canvas wrap or whatever. It's the same price no matter what. So have some fun taking those photos that you've got and really bringing them to life with Pixingo.